Also, another thing that like this game, I like never looked at the minimap. I
That's
looked
fine.
one time when
That's fine.
I saw Gragas bot. Yeah,
That's
all right.
fine, right? Like, so in regards to the things we will need to worry about, like think about, like these are the things that we focus on, right? And it's the stage model, like you said, right? We focus
Mhm.
on CS, we
Yeah,
focus on punishing CS, we focus on getting root clicks, and then we focus on information gathering. I
mhm.
think that you're gonna need some games to just only focus on this, just to get it down, right? And it could be done in like a couple of games. And it could just be a case of focusing on it. But I think you're just gonna need like at least 3 games of just hitting the CS goals, right?
And
Because you're not, yeah,
does that also contain like spacing defensively and stuff like that? Because I can't just go for every CS. I have to let CS down to not die, or just like go for
yeah, yeah,
every
yeah,
CS
yeah. So so
and not
so
care.
for example, so how it's structured, right? Is for example for CS, the goal is 34 CS at 5 minutes, 80 CS at 10
Hmm.
minutes, and 7 CS a minute. This is the
Yeah.
goal. To hit this goal, you can only do it. It's only possible if you've got defensive spacing, if you're okay at recall timings, if you're okay at wave management, right?
Hmm.
If you can't do these things, it's literally impossible for you to hit this goal. So if you're hitting this goal, you've got these at least at a competent level,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
So if I were you, I just try to hit these goals, and I'll send this all your way, so you don't need to type this out or make notes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so just focus on okay. So like basically step one for you would be hit the CS goals 3 games in a row, right? And
Hmm.
so only focus on CS, no punishing slash anything else unless you're super distracted. And
Hmm.
yeah, and I'll say like 34 CS at 5, 80 CS at 10, and 7 CS a minute. All right, so this would
Hmm.
be step one. Then step
And
two would be adding this. Go ahead.
yeah, I want to ask, like, if I'm versus like Darius, it's like
Mm-hmm.
34 CS is like it's like good if I get it. But if I'm
Yep.
versus with Fiora versus a Kale is not gonna punish me for anything. I can get virtually
Oh
every
yeah.
CS, right?
Yep. Yep.
I can't miss one.
Yep.
So shouldn't it be like more miss only this much CS to not die?
So so step one of any fundamental skill is being
Hmm.
competent at them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So these are the benchmarks to hit to be competent at CSing.
Hmm.
Obviously, like you said, these benchmarks are relatively low. You know, there are some
Yeah.
of my students that are very high on MAR as well that are saying if you can't hit perfect CS, then don't even play the game, right? you know,
Yeah.
that's fair in a way, right? But at the same time, just get these goals. If you get more, great job. Don't focus on it right now. That's for
Hmm.
later.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because going from so basically what we're doing is we're going from 0 or I guess like from 50 or something. We'll just say 0 to like 90, right? And this process takes about the same time as going from 90 to 100.
Mhm.
But obviously this is way more efficient than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so what we're doing is we're doing skill 1, 0 to 90, and instead of refining it right now, we're going to do skill 2, 0 to 90, right? And then once we got all the skills down, right, when we're at 5 and we did 0 to 90, then we go back to 1 and we go 90 to 100, and then we go back to 2 when we go 90 to 100, etc., etc., right?
Mhm.
So the refinement
Yeah.
of the stage comes after the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So step
Okay.
one, literally just like, and this can take as little as 3 games. It might take a while. Honestly, I'm expecting you to just hit it in 3 games because the only thing you really need to do is actually focus on it and actually
Hmm.
just get it down because all the skills required for you to hit this are already there. You're just not doing it, right?
Yeah.
Step two would be focusing on punishing CS, right? Where the goal would be punishing as often as possible with a minimum of once per wave. Um,
Hmm.
versus ranged, um, like these goals are more flexible.
Yeah.
because like if you're playing against Vayne or Quinn or whatever or Timo, like
Yeah.
it's just not possible, right?
What about if it's like Kale versus Renekton? Do you still punish Renekton or just try to
Yep,
survive? You're like,
yep, you still
oh,
do it.
mhm, alright.
It might sound stupid or it might sound like it's not possible. It's possible.
Yeah, yeah, it seems just like pointless because the damage you do with EQ, he just heals with 1Q, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's completely
I
true
get
for
why.
sure. This is also partially why we don't recommend kill, but in
Mm-hmm,
those cases, it's not necessarily about actually getting a lead. It's more about practicing this skill.
yeah, yeah. Hitting
Right?
the
It's
skill
more
down,
about
not yeah.
because let's say we're facing Renekton, yeah, obviously it doesn't matter much, but playing versus Renekton still allows us to practice this skill, and practicing this skill
Mm-hmm,
is going to be useful when we actually need it. So we're just gonna maximize and this is the same reason why like Karma and Lissandra are on the list or Oriana, even though against some top laners they literally can't kill them in lane with like their mana,
mm-hmm,
right? If the opponent just goes Doran Shield and Resolve Tree, it's literally impossible to kill them with your mana unless they like mess up. But yeah, this would be step two, and then step three would be focusing on clicks, which is both the closeness of clicks and the accuracy of clicks, which is basically just does every click make sense? And we'll talk a little bit about this, but before like next session, I want you to just focus on these two, and then for
mm-hmm.
next session, we'll like really go in depth on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
alright.
but yeah,
So until like next week, I should just be focusing on getting CS down
yeah,
and punishing my enemy for CS and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
only
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Alright, so what if I see my enemy doing like a big mistake? Like, what if Darius here goes for an E under the tower
Yeah, if it's a big
and like
mistake, just kill
he
them.
gets tower shot?
Just kill them. Honestly,
Yeah,
you know.
alright, alright.
Like if it's literally like the freest all in, or like or if they're like trying to dive you on a tower, you just kill them. Like
Like if it's over like 90% chance you get a kill if you don't do anything really stupid. Like you can display a little bit
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
still kill them. Just go for it. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, don't go for it when they're like full HP,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like basically yes. It's the same like when people are like practicing anti mid, for example. If your opponent is super stupid and is like half HP while you have all your ability, yeah, you can just ult and kill them, right? Like you don't need to go insane and stretch it over ridiculous amounts of time. If you can just instantly kill them, just instantly kill them. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tried to hold that back this time to kind of like get the mentality in. Like so let's before anything, we'll talk a bit about the first wave, right? Because this is kind of like the interesting part in a way, right? Because there's two openers. There's first, what happens here? They push too fast and it gets stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for us. This happens when someone is 4 or more auto attacks ahead, right?
Yeah.
It's just a number. In top lane, sometimes it needs 5 because it's such a long lane. The
Mm-hmm.
second option is you get to level 2 first, right? Which requires 3 auto attack lead. 2 auto attack is possible, but it's very tight. 4 auto attacks, you get the issue Darius had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So optimally, it is
yeah,
to like you get the
yeah,
three three auto attacks lead and then just try to get level 2 first.
yes. So, optimal for us, I mean, either of us is honestly optimal, right? Because this is basically them fucking up and we punishing, and this is us just doing correct. It's
So
like,
one is them doing it and two is us doing it.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one is them making a mistake, one is us not making a mistake, but doing the same
And
thing.
what
And
if they like
yeah,
auto attack the same amount of times? So like I can do three, but when I stop and wanted to go for to get four or more, they
yep,
like don't and just get level 2 first, but don't push it
yep,
really
yeah, yeah,
hard.
yeah. So yeah, that's the idea. So like, this is wave one. We get 3 auto attacks ahead. So if our opponent attacks, we attack again to keep the ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean like
Yeah.
if we both attack at the same time, like arrive at the same time and just are equal,
Yep.
like you want to stop to make them to push, to make them push, but maybe
Yeah.
they stop too with only three auto attacks.
Yeah, so let's think about that for a second, right? Like, let's say our opponents just auto attack off cool. Like, so let's say two people who know what the goal is meet into lane.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Is essentially the question you're asking, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So, like, let's say Darius is trying to get three ahead, and we're trying to get three ahead. Or this is, I know, another champion that is less all in that is like not free for you to kill. I have no clue, but let's just say Renek or Sion or whatever or
Yeah,
Gragas.
or
Yeah.
set, like set
Sure,
damage really
sure,
often
sure.
and things like
Set.
that.
Like Set is here, we're Fiora, and both of us are trying to hit it. What would happen is we both auto and auto. We're trying to get ahead, so we auto again. He autos again, right? What happens at the end is neither of us get ahead, and the lane stays in this perfect, great for us neutral position.
Mm-hmm.
Because what states are good for us? Anything that is like on that side of this line, basically, right? That's all great for us. Or even, to be fair, like even like this, right? Anything
Yeah.
that's on our side of this line is great for us because it's either balanced, and a balanced position, it's all about who can just do fundamental skills better, or it's favored for us because it's close to our tower.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if two people knowing this just go at it, yeah, they'll just auto attack the wave over and over and over again. Which is it sounds super stupid and it looks really stupid, but yep, that's
Mm-hmm.
optimal play.
All right. And
Because
what if like
yep, go ahead.
uh, no, no, actually go ahead. It's
Yeah.
something different.
So, like for example, if you would stop auto attacking and he just auto attacks three times and stops auto attacking, now you need to auto attack three times to get back, right? So stopping with the auto attacking, hoping that he's gonna push you in, basically is expecting him to make a mistake that he doesn't need to make, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
I wanted to ask, not necessarily like wave one, but like if you do something like this when like we're both CSing, like I mean at the
Mhm.
same time,
Mhm.
and they like want to punish me, I want to punish them, but like if it's set and he eats me like as a punish,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I try to run, but he runs me over with Q. It's like a really big trade.
Mhm.
Like, does that matter? Like, is that like? I mean, now, actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't really make sense because if he can get an E, that means that I wasn't really positioning well. If he can get an E in, like I should have let the CS down if it's in his E range. Now that I think about it.
That's part of it. Secondly,
Uh,
this is wave one, remember? So everyone's level one.
mhm,
Obviously, this changes after, like, when we hit level two, it changes, yeah. The reason why this first wave is so important is because hitting level two first is so important. When we hit level two,
mhm,
it's kind of fine afterwards, right?
yeah.
It's because when he hit level two, we're level two as well. And then we don't need to, like, rush with auto attacks anymore to hit level three first because that's going to take a while.
Mhm,
And that's the moment where we don't need to like keep auto attacking anymore. We can just actually go for lost hits, and we can go for punishes. And like you said, yeah, set can look to punish you for going for CS, and that's that's the scary, dangerous thought. But you already knew that, right? Like, and that's
yeah.
exactly like you said, right? Like that's about positioning and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a great example of um, the Darius basically just messing up here. So here you get hit by the Q, and you're positioning in this like you don't want to allow this to happen, right? Specifically against Darius, but any other champion. That what Darius is doing here is literally what you're doing to other people, right? He's saying,
Mhm,
"I'm Darius. I play this champion a lot. I know this champion better than you do. I'm just gonna run into the minions, and if you don't run away right now, I'm literally gonna go all in on you, and you better flash, otherwise you die." That's what he's saying here,
mhm,
right? This is super cheesy from this Darius, but if you kind of look at the way you're moving, like this click, for example, literally allows him to get into this position. And now he's in between you and your tower, so you're going to take a ton of damage. It's not like you got lucky with your proc spawn and stuff like that. But yeah, like this changed the entire lane. And from this point on,
mhm,
oh
mhm.
yeah, it's way worse to, like, you can't really punish him anymore because you just allowed him to do cheese on you, right? Like what he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
there is literally cheese. This is like the type of stuff that you were doing to the set, where going for this all in.
Yeah,
It's
going for Orleans.
yeah, and like it would be really funny as well, right? Like let's say you were a bad player and you just go all in on that Darius. It would be so funny if you just won that, you know? Because then this Darius, then he really looks like
Yeah,
an idiot.
yeah. That happens to me sometimes. Like versus set level one with if he gets a goodie like into his minions and I get hit by the minions,
Hmm.
I had some games where I died level one to him or Darius, and
Yep.
I was like really sad that happened.
Yep. And like you can see in this spot, right? Like it might feel very tense and very scary in this spot. Like you like that queue that you see it. Like this is one of those like random queues that aren't based on anything. And on Fiora, that like those are more fine than other champions. But on champions like Darius or many others, this is actually really
Mhm.
bad because this is a like normally when you go for a trade, Darius is locked in an animation, but right now he's not. This is a perfect moment for him to go on you. He's too bad he didn't see the moment, right? But now he's gonna get this cannon for free, and we can't punish him for it, right?
Yeah. You said to go for when he goes for the cannon. Yeah, I saw him auto attacking, so I tried to go
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah, no,
the
no,
auto
yeah, I get
attack
it.
timer.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what
timing
I
sense
meant
for
was
this.
whenever he goes for the last hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's one of the concepts, right? And like here, like this moment, right? Like this is just a free trade. We're Fiora, we can hit it with a Q, and as long as we're not inting with our Qs, we're outside of his E range, right? It's tight, sure, but it's possible. And obviously, if you're looking at like a champion from the tier list that is doing that type of stuff, obviously they tend to be able to do that better than
hmm
Fiora can. But you know,
Yeah,
that's the
I
concept
was also
still.
scared of him eating me. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want to go for a queue where he eats me and then I have to flash to not die.
yeah, and like that's like one of the things. Like, why are you scared of that?
It's like because of how I know usually the matchups go, and I know the damage he can do. Like, and I was scared to not like be able to die in one more trade.
Yeah, and part of that as well is like, why is that scary to die in one trade? Because if you're gonna die, then you might lose that game,
Mhm.
and losing the game is scary. But is losing the game actually scary? Is the real question, right? Because in the end, if you win or lose, did that matter for your improvement, right? It might be
Yeah, I think.
better to put yourself in really high risk situations where you really need to play extremely well. It might be way better for improvement, right? Because what we did in this session is really great for many things. We did CS really well. We managed our waves really well, and I think a lot of your clicks were really clean. That being said, this Darius got so much free CS it was disgusting, you know.
Yeah.
So if we look back on it now and we ask ourselves, okay, what did we practice in this game? We practiced our CS, we practiced our wave management, and our like wasn't active but passive. We practiced our clicks. Let's say we
hmm
want to add onto this with punishing CS. We need to play in a risky manner to be able to practice that too. And yes, sometimes we're gonna fuck up and die, but at the end of that game, even though you got destroyed, you can say, I practiced getting better at punishing CS. And next game I'm gonna hit it. So good. You know?
hmm Yeah, but I think I really need to play on like a second account
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
I want to do
absolutely,
stuff like
absolutely.
that. Like
Yeah.
I can't just risk dying
Oh yeah,
to
no, no, I
to like
100%
teach
understand.
Darius. But also, I'm now wondering, like looking at the replay, like how is this Darius master 140 MP? Like all he did was push every wave. He didn't get. He wasn't insane mechanical like
Yep, yep.
max range E like other Darius. Like I'm wondering how someone this bad this high rank. I don't know.
Because
It's really
because the
weird.
opponents don't like so normally Fioras don't want to play like you do or
Mhm.
you did this game.
Yeah.
Like other Fioras will like randomly go on him because they know that it's gonna work.
Yeah. Like I usually do.
Hmm. Yeah, like you normally do. But now we can see, right? Like we just played correct, and this guy who's obviously masters and who has had a lot of wins on Darius, he couldn't do
Yeah. He was
shit
like
because
2 million points too.
yeah, yeah, but like what could he do? This game? Yeah, you just need to flash the Q there, and then
Yeah.
you're safe. But that's like part of what's so funny as well, right? Because you can literally see like the only reason why this guy ever wins games because he cheeses his opponents. It's the only
Hmm.
reason. There's literally nothing else good about it.
Yeah, yeah,
And the only thing you needed to do here is just parry the cheese, and this player can't do shit. And that's what you did, and that's why he inted. And then he like
yeah.
complains about
Yeah.
jungle diff,
Yeah.
like you said. But it's obviously player diff, right? Like he's just cheesing and it's not working, and now he's salty because the cheese
Hmm.
should work.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair if it doesn't work. And yeah, that's the type of stuff. And here, right, like it's just hit him with a Q when he goes for a CS, right? Even his Q's on cooldown now. Hit him with a Q there. Like, this is a great timing. I like this a lot. He goes for the
Yeah.
E,
It was.
but like you see,
I could.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
No, I was saying that I like you a little bit too far,
Yeah,
too far
you
ahead.
queued a little bit too far here,
Yeah.
and here like running back is good. I think if you honestly just W here or auto W here immediately, then like that click back here for him to get a second auto is the only reason why he got anything here. But like,
Hmm. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's just think about this, right? The entire game we were scared of like trading on Darius because he can E us. He E'd us right here. What happened?
Yeah. He would have lost the trade,
Yeah,
but
he got
I.
two auto attacks.
Yeah, but I also had the pickaxe here, and
Yeah,
he like
that's
defended
true.
back,
That's
so
true. And
yeah,
you also hit a
that's
final,
also.
right?
Hmm. Yeah, but if I didn't have, I wouldn't go for that.
Yeah, but like in hindsight, right? Like we can see, oh wait a minute, why were we even scared in the first place? It makes sense why we're scared because we don't want to, run it down into our lane. We don't want to int it for
Hmm.
our team. We don't want to feed. We don't want
Yeah.
our opponent to carry the game for them, right? Because all of that sucks and feels bad and feels like we're playing bad. But in the end, it's not about playing bad or playing good. It's about getting better or not getting better. And you can get better while playing bad, right? You can
Hmm.
get better while losing. You can get better while winning as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Also,
like, yeah.
a question I wanted to ask, like about freezes, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the freeze was still fine, but most of the time when I like try to hold the freeze,
Yep.
I I kill the caster minions because they're like too many, and then
Mm-hmm.
the next wave arrives and the melee minions going to tower like that one
Yep.
did,
That's why you don't kill
and
the caster minions.
yeah, yeah, like I always break freezes this way by melee minions dying. So
Yep.
like I'm not sure. It's like there a video with exact numbers and stuff like that of caster and melees to watch to know
Um,
exactly how many I need to
you
kill and
you
stuff like
can
that.
you can go if you just look on YouTube for like freezing video, there are like thousands that like explain it, and they basically all say the same thing. So honestly, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
basic
know
stuff,
most of
you need
them.
like three casters alive from the enemy
Mm-hmm,
extra,
yeah, yeah.
right? So three casters more than yours, and if you want to be safe, then you do four casters. Also, like just take a second to appreciate how fucking like how crazy this Darius is getting about the fact that he can't kill you.
Yeah, yeah. I saw like that he did here.
Yeah,
That
like
was like
what the, you know?
really stupid.
Like
Like he wanted to punish me for going for that cannon, but
yeah, like
it
and
took
that's like
one
one of
more
those
tower
things,
shot.
right? Like here you can really see what I talked about earlier as well, right? Where if you just time it really good, you couldn't have
Hmm.
if he timed it really good, you couldn't have dodged it, right? But
Yeah.
he was greedy and it just throws it out off cooldown. Obviously, it's not like it's not going to hit every time at that point, and that's his mistakes. He's greedy and he's going for random throws because he's assuming that you're a worse player than him. Because that's what he does. Because all the players are worse than him, obviously,
Hmm.
and it works so often. So why wouldn't it work here? And that's another great cue, right? And you can see like I mean, obviously this guy's not that great, but you can see like he can't necessarily hit you back for getting CS, right? And
Yeah.
like, this is also important to notice. Anytime they go for an ability while getting CS, that's fine. We got them to use an ability, right?
Hmm.
Like if Set uses W to get a CS, we don't need to run at Set and try to punish him. We can already just be happy about the fact that he used an ability.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What if it's like a big ability? Like if Darius uses E to push all the minions faster? Like can I go for more punishes and stuff like that? Because if he has no E,
Oh, so
he can't do
basically what
pretty
I
much anything.
mean is, so for example, right, um, this Darius right here, let's say this is you,
Mm-hmm.
right, and your opponent's this Fiora,
Yeah.
right? So what you can do is you can just walk forward sometimes, and the Fiora will just use a spell, right? And that is great for Darius because you like if I was Darius here, right, then what you should do is walk forward and force Fiora to either miss the CS or force Fiora to hit Q
Mm.
on the CS, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't have Q, good luck getting the next CS, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the concept.
Yeah. I meant more like if Fiora has like if I was Darius and Fiora had W, I can just go for a predictable E because she can W me and then maybe kill me. But if she like uses their W for something, I don't know. Can I then like go for more aggressive punishes or just play normally and don't care that they don't have any portability?
You can do either.
Like,
Either is kind of fine. Um, it
mm-hmm,
depend. It
yeah,
depends on you. So if that added complexity, so okay, let's get it straight. That added complexity is basically a further refinement of the skill that we need to get competent at. If that
mm-hmm,
further
mm-hmm,
refinement is easy for you to get because you're already counting cooldowns and stuff like that, absolutely go for it. Great job. If that's an extra
yeah,
thing that's going
right.
to distract you from getting good at the fundamental, get good at the fundamental first and then incorporate it later.
Mhm.
Right? So like that's like
Yeah, all
one
right,
of those things, right?
that
Like
makes sense.
where most of the things, yep, correct, yep, that's completely good, but let's calm down and do that later.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, like something funny here is you'll look at tab soon and you're gonna notice that, even though you've been missing quite some CS under
Mhm.
tower, like because this
Yeah.
Darius played the way he did, and like this is the great example, right? Where because you need to like this great job by Darius, great trade. Another great trade by Darius. This Q I don't like, but here great trade by Darius again. You see, because you're
Mhm.
missing minions. Okay, let's look at the tab because I think it's but
I
like
think
this Darius is
I'm
doing the
six now.
concept kind of okay. He's just fucking up wave manipulation really bad. But yeah, here
Mhm.
it's like 5 CS ahead, and we can compare ourselves to like the rest of the game, and it's actually fine.
Oh. Yeah. Usually it's way lower.
Oh yeah, and this is also funny, right? Like, did you notice that this Jace was inting this game?
Yeah, I think I one time saw that he had 4 deaths, but only one time I saw that.
Yep.
I didn't look at anything else.
But yeah, that's like part of why this process is really nice because you only focus on yourself,
Mhm.
right? Because it doesn't really matter anymore if you win or lose. Like it's still nice to win and it still sucks a bit to lose. But like it moves the game a bit away from getting annoyed at your teammates for running it down and getting annoyed just thinking about how broken that Vladimir is gonna be, right?
Mhm.
Into why the fuck can't I hit this fucking CS? What is wrong with me?
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll copy paste this.
Also, I just checked now on that website, and I had this game at 5 minutes 34 CS and at
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes 74,
Ah,
and like
close,
per
close.
minute eight that yeah, I was like six off.
Yeah. But like we
Yeah,
can
but
we can
like.
even see in this VOD, right? Like the reason
Mhm.
why is because of multiple moments, right? There are multiple like level one we mess up. Here this moment we either needed to just hard shove immediately or we needed to accept that it was gonna be like this and just slow push, right?
Mhm.
So this was part of it. Level one, the all in was part of it, where he goes for cheese. Dying here is part of it, right? Like it's very and there's just like random means we miss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like if I didn't miss any minions under tower, like
Yep.
I would have got it.
Oh yeah, easy. Right. But yeah, like here, for example, this is a great amount of minions. Right. The amount of minions you need, 3 casters is the minimum, but generally you want 4 because that's like definitely not gonna break.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But yeah. Do you have any questions?
Oh, yeah, I had one I had prepared.
Mm-hmm.
On the second account, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I should be playing Fiora too. I mean,
Yep, I
I
agree.
can, but I don't want to be just
I
a
agree.
matrix point.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
think
like to
that's good.
play Camille and others have to like what champion should I play?
So for improvement, right? The answer for just optimal improvement would obviously be any of the tier list champions, right?
Oh yeah, so the S ones.
So like yeah, any of these champions would be my first recommendation. If for any reason
Hmm.
you want to play someone else, that's possible. It will just take longer for you to get the skills down, right?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
reason why it's these champions that are being listed is because one, they've got great tools for punishing CS, and secondly, they're so simple that your brain just can only focus on fundamentals, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I
So
think I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna try like Darius probably, but he's like picked or banned a lot of games, so probably.
Who
I mean,
is?
I'd go for what?
Who is?
Sorry. Darius. He's like
Oh,
really
Darius.
picked
Yeah,
or
yeah,
banned.
yeah.
So I mean, I'd like Aatrox too, but he has
Yep.
that thing with 40 ping, and I have like
You can. It's
56.
like champions one tier lower. So, I
Oh,
like.
oh, yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. All
Darius
right,
Aatrox
so
100% fine. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna try to pick one for that. Also, I have a question. Like I saw Urgot is like
Mhm.
8 years there.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, like I said, the last two promo games I had two Urgots and they like just constantly pushed.
Yep.
Isn't that like what Urgot does with his passive and W? Like
Yep.
he pushes
That's
and
that's
you
that's
can't
part of the
set up a
difficulty.
freeze.
That's part of the difficulty. You can freeze with
Hmm.
them. It's no issue. You just need to actually think about what you do. So
Oh,
yeah,
all right,
like
right.
that's like the things where they mess up, right? Where they just perma shove because they try to
Hmm.
use maximum their passive, right? But if you stand at max range and you hit a minion, it's very easy to hit only one minion with auto attack plus passive. It's very easy.
Oh, oh, yeah. I don't know that at max range is like oh,
Yeah, you just like it's all positioning, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm imagining it. And it makes
Yeah.
sense. Uh, all right. Also, another question: would I like if I'm playing mid with
Uh huh.
Oriana, like she's S plus plus?
Yep.
Would that also be good or better, or how would that be? Like if I'm
Basically the same. Basically the
mainly
same.
top. Oh, oh, all right. But like I imagine that if I'm doing that, I wouldn't be going for any roams or
Yep. Yep.
skirmishes or stuff,
Yep.
right? I just lane stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's the same
All
same
right.
concept. Yeah. Yeah. Like what we're trying to do basically is we're trying to get as much gold as possible ourselves. We're trying to deny as much gold as possible from our opponent. It's
Hmm.
just like
Yeah.
the super basic levels of the game. They're like this is just the game is about gold, so we're trying to get as much of it as possible, and we're trying to deny as much of it as possible.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
And a lot of other things are basically cheese that people just know kind of works.
Hmm.
So,
All right. Um. Also, I think I had I had a question about like stage three clicks and stuff like
yep.
that. Like, is there anything I can do like actively try to do like a drill like if I'm not doing anything, just listening to music to do something to improve yourself,
Yeah, okay. So
or
if
just
if you've got these two down,
hmm
right? And you don't know what to do anymore and you're just like, well, I haven't got anything to do anymore, then this is something you're already kind of doing, but really make sure that, you know, the clicks you are doing are always super close to your champion. Like kind of like
hmm
that. Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
that is too
I'm
far,
trying to do
right?
that.
Yeah. So like that is like one of the that's like part of it. The second part is make sure every click makes sense, right? So
Hmm.
think about what you will need to do in any given time and make sure your clicks work towards those goals. So if you think about this situation right now, right, the two things you will need to do is you will need to punish Darius going for this CS, and you will need to go for this CS yourself.
Hmm.
So all the clicks you do from now on should move you into a position that will allow both of those things to happen.
Yeah.
Any
Okay.
clicks, so for example, if you're clicking here, that's a bad click because it doesn't allow you to do either.
Mm-hmm.
While, yeah.
I was like about that click. Wouldn't it be like some some clicks back useful like for tethering to like go
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
out
that's
engine
separate.
of
Yeah, yeah,
the?
yeah.
Oh yeah, all
But
right,
it's
right.
about like the like
Mm-hmm.
here we missed
main
the
things.
trade, and we're clicking back. Like this is fine. Like we're moving into a safe position. That click forward does not make any sense, right?
Hmm.
These
Yeah,
are fine. We're trying to move away. That Q was, I don't like it that much. Like this moving down doesn't make any sense unless you're trying to like freeze this. Then it makes some
yeah.
sense.
I tried
Yeah,
to keep the waves there
yeah, yeah.
to not let it crash.
So some of it like, but like some of the clicks like where they're really far like that, or that click on Darius right there is real bad. You know, it's that
All
type
right.
of stuff, right?
Okay. So it's mostly after stage 1 and 2. It's
Yep,
like
yep,
acting style, like focus on every click, like
yep,
how you focus on CS and stuff. Like okay.
yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like for
All right.
example, here there is a lot of clicks that you know like these
Mm-hmm.
minions are so funny as well because he just doesn't get them. But like this click here is just objectively bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because by clicking here, it's impossible for us to get this Q, and now he gets a free cannon.
Mm.
So that's
All
how
right.
that's like vaguely where to focus on. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we can go more in
So.
depth about that next session, which next week I'm probably full, so I'm just gonna tell you that ahead of time.
Mhm.
That
Okay. No
so
problem.
probably in 2 weeks time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, if I begin doing this stuff like from stage 1 and 2, how do I
Mhm.
know like
The goals
I'm
are
done,
right
I'm
there.
ready, I've done everything?
The goals
Oh,
are right
so
there.
only try to get that CCS per minute.
So like right like what we talked about, right? Goal for one. Right? This is step
Mm-hmm.
one. So first we finish step one, then we finish
Yeah.
step two. How step two looks is punishing as often as possible. So we can see this game was definitely not good for stage two, right? Because we're just giving him free CS over and over again, right? Making sure you do good wave management is also part of this because otherwise you're not going to be able to punishing minimum of once per wave. But honestly, in most cases, you're going to be able to punish him every single minion he goes for, as long as you have a cooldown up, right? But like this, mistrade, right? Mistrade. That's how simple stage 2 is. You just look, this poor timing, too early, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, perfect. If there's anything else, you can
Okay.
always DM me as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Thanks for the session.
Hmm.
I I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope to see you soon. I hope everything goes well.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything,
Thanks.
just like
Thank you.
message me, right? If you're
Yeah.
not like if you really aren't sure about something, it's always fine to like send me 10 minutes of lane or 5 minutes preferably. I might not be able to look at it immediately, but I'll try to look at it again. If I don't respond, just like send me a message again the next day. Sometimes messages don't arrive to my Discord, weirdly enough. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, I'll see you
All right.
around, man.
Okay.
I'll send you the
Thank
link
you
to
very
the VODs
much.
as well.
All right. All right.
Okay, see you around, man. Bye.
Okay. Same. Bye. Bye. Thank you.